As the coronavirus pandemic continues, many are making changes. Many expect students to return in August, head back home around Thanksgiving. Living conditions and how classes will be held, of course, varies from school to school. Frederick Lawrence, lecturer at Georgetown Law and former president of Brandeis University, joins us now to talk about the plans and what parents and students need to know. Thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be with you.
Let me get your thoughts on the plans that we've heard to send students back in August and then make them come home around Thanksgiving time, take finals from home. What are the pros and the cons of that?
Well, let's start at the back end of that. The pro of sending people home at Thanksgiving and then staying home is that you don't have students coming from campus back to the four corners of the country, sometimes four corners of the globe, and then coming right back a week later, bringing with them all of the potential exposure and maybe even infection that they've gotten. So that piece makes sense. I think the harder piece right now is knowing what really can be effectively done as early as the end of August, early September. There's so much uncertainty in this. If you think about it, we're talking about social distancing and the need to maintain distance. Universities are ideally set up to do social non-distancing. They're designed to put people together, put them in dorms, put them in classrooms, create experiences where we learn from each other. So this is going to be a terrible challenge, which is why if you really listen hard to what most universities are saying, they're long on the aspiration and they're short on the details.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you about some of that as we talk about social distancing.
Sure.
We've heard some universities say they're going to bring the freshmen and sophomores back on campus and have the upperclassmen. They're going to help them find off-campus housing. How realistic is that? And will that even work?
Well, what some places are doing is that. What some places are doing is bringing back freshmen and seniors and letting sophomores and juniors be remote. All of this is based on the idea that schools are simply not equipped to have this kind of distance between and among students. You know, you have two students in a room or three students in a two-bedroom suite. All of a sudden, that's got to go. They've all got to be together. In a place like Washington, where you might be able to find a place for people to stay. But what about a remote campus where they don't have that option? So this is much more difficult than it seems.
And last but not least, we just have a few seconds. What advice would you give students and parents who are actually concerned about going back to campus this fall?
Listen very carefully, ask hard questions to your campus, be very flexible, and mom and dad, be prepared at a moment's notice to make a big change in plans and maybe bring them home. That would be a disappointment, but be prepared to be very flexible this year.
That's exactly what you have to do. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate all the insight.
Good to be with you.